mics. There we go. All right, now my mic's working. All right, we're going to do things a little differently today. If you guys haven't noticed, we had our live stream yesterday, but Facebook decided to delete it. So we're going to recap it a little bit. I'm not prepped for it, but you know what? We're going to talk about a few things we covered yesterday that was important. Specifically, a few things that happened last night as well, but the censorship that Facebook clearly is doing, and they're probably going to delete this video too, but we're backing it up and we're going to post it and we're going to shove it in their face every second of every day to make sure that they know that our voice needs to be heard. Now, let's wait for a few people to come on. Thank you guys for joining. I know it's a little late, but you know, last night my wife put our son to bed and it's my turn. So happy wife, happy life. We're all taking turns. So we'll make this short or sweet. I know it's Saturday night. Everyone wants to go out and drink for the next 2 hours before the governor's law is implemented and everyone's got to shut down. You probably hear my son. He's escaped from his room. So welcome everybody for joining. If I don't see you guys coming on, we're getting everything set up right now. Let's see if we can't. There we go. Log. Jim, Brian, Dean, thanks for joining tonight. We're just going to recap a few things we talked about yesterday. Real quick, obviously, we covered the father's rights. One of the things I would love to see my state representative do, Michelle LaPorte-Hagan, which she won't, is try to give more rights back to fathers. We all know that an unmarried couple, the father has 0 rights until 1, the baby's born, and 2, he goes to court. The Cliff Note versions of it is if you get someone pregnant, you're unmarried, while she's pregnant, she can go wherever she wants. She can go to California. You're stuck here in Ohio. Well, she has that child in California. Guess what? You now have to fly and actually go through the whole court proceedings in California or whichever state that she goes through. That's my son. He's escaped his room again. So we got to give my wife props. I definitely want to take a break. We're going to time out for a second, but thank you, Kristen. You're awesome. I appreciate everything you do. And thank you, love. She said, you're welcome. So, going back to the whole father's thing, we need to make sure that there's laws implemented to ensure that a father can actually be his father without actually having to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in the court system to fight to actually be a father. As we all know, one of the leading causes for all the criminals, if you actually look into it, majority of them are from fatherless homes. So yes, there are pieces of crap out there, fathers, but you also have crappy mothers as well. It goes 50-50. Times have changed. David, thanks for joining. Yeah, we'll talk about the censorship. The reason why that I actually got a letter from Facebook saying the reason why is that I posted a fake news in regards to the election and the fraud that actually was going on. I'm not too sure why. However, I think we're having a guest. Logan coming down. No, my wife brought me some popcorn, so we can eat some popcorn. So thank you, Kristen, for the popcorn. But yeah, I ate some. So now I lost my train of thought. Facebook's email specified that it was that news reel that I let you guys see, which you guys probably already saw, from Georgia, where they pulled out at the very end of the day after they kicked everybody out. They pulled these suitcases out from underneath the table and then they started scanning ballots. That's fraud and there's no way around it. If you saw another news reel where they're actually testifying on it, one of the individual states, well, you have not provided us any type of evidence at all that shows any form of fraud. Last time I checked, the video is proof. So that means if they're going to not allow that video in as evidence, they are going to set a precedence for any other court issue that's actually going on. Thefts, assaults. What's the point of even having a security camera? The cameras you have in your home, what's the point of having it? If they're not going to allow these security footages to be implemented or be put in as evidence to show that there was fraud, then when someone breaks into your house and you have cameras all over your house, well, guess what? That's not evidence. That's the road that they're going down. And we need to make sure that actually this does not happen. Barbara, thanks for joining. We're just recapping what we talked about yesterday. This Facebook took my video down. Kind of, I got my cliff notes here. So, talk about father's rights. Again, I wasn't prepped on it. All right, the transparency. I don't like the fact that elected officials, if you vote for anyone, make sure they are transparent in everything they do. We understand, and I'm sure each of you understand, sometimes legislation does take time to get pushed through. But we want to be aware that our officials are not forgetting what it is that we want them to do. For example, if a piece of legislation is going to take months on end, and I get it, sometimes it does, it shouldn't, but it does. We understand, but at least let us know where we're at. And even if nothing happened that day or that week, even weekly updates we'll be happy with. Let us know, hey, I made a phone call. We're still waiting for a phone call back, or we're trying to figure out what's going on, or they want more testimony in regards to this, yada, 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 whatever. That's all we want. Because last time I checked, we elect these individuals in office. We are their boss. We tell them what to do. They're supposed to speak for us, but how can they speak for us if they don't listen to us, if they don't speak to us? Where I work, as I'm sure each and every single one of you have a job as well, is that you actually report back to your boss and say where you are, whichever task that you were assigned. Same thing applies. We talked about the COVID, 99.8% survival rating. Apparently they're paying people now. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but we'll bring it up. They're paying people $1,500 to take a virus test. But if it's so perfect, why do they need to pay people? Not to mention some places are going to be mandated. Now, I'm not about vaccine mandates. I never am. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's wrong. I think you should make the own choice of what you want stuck in your body. Those of you who have military friends or were in the military during time frame, they had an anthrax vaccine. Yeah, anthrax vaccine. Imagine that. It was like a 12-shot series. They got the whole thing. We had to sign a waiver. Said that we don't know what this does. We think it works. We're not sure long-term effects, yada, yada, yada. But you got to take it anyways, so we're going to kick you out. So we're forced to take it. So I already have so much crap in my body. I really don't care about taking the COVID test. However, I am going to wait at least a year or two of seeing what it does, because I've never seen a vaccine so fast tracked in my life. Now, yes, I appreciate everyone up there trying to work hard, but I have lost so much faith in our government from what's happened over the last 4 years. Yes, I love Trump, but everyone all together, I've lost faith in everything, the whole entire system. We all have. That's where our frustration lies, because of the transparency, because of the people caring about themselves. We have the Nancy Pelosi's, the AOC's. Some of the Republicans are actually twisting everything that they said that they were going to do. They're doing complete opposite. Dean, you got it twice. It's what it is. We've lost complete trust in our government. We have. And our government needs to fight to get our trust back. But I probably will. I mean, I get the flu shot, but I don't trust the COVID shot at all. But I don't think we should be forcing people to take it, especially if they're scared, especially if they have not once even talked about the side effects to this vaccine. What are the long-term side effects? We don't know. I mean, how much screening are they actually doing to it? We don't know. Sometimes reactions take months on end to affect an individual. Laura, thanks for joining. James, the peanut butter shot in the rear end. I've had that. The smallpox. Exactly. They probably will. My wife would probably be forced. Nurses would probably be forced to take it. They're forced to take the flu shot. They're probably going to force them to take the COVID shot as well. It does. I mean, look at the other countries around this world who had worse spike than us, and it's all pretty much down, flattened, and they've done less restrictions than us. Look at Florida. There's no restrictions. They got one of the lowest numbers. Definitely don't trust DeWine. Exactly, Dean. I don't even buy phones. I mean, literally, the iPhone 12 just came out. I just got the iPhone 11. Before that, I had the iPhone 6. So I don't ever buy something brand new right when it comes out, like this electric truck, same concept that's coming out of Lordstown. I'm not going to trust it. I mean, who knows if they're even going to get off their feet being sued for not paying their bills, or the fact they stole the very fabric of their entire business. Now, I haven't read anything recent on that, but we'll see what's going on. Hopefully everything is fine, because we definitely don't want Lordstown Motors to go away. But everything in regards to brand new, I don't ever touch it. I wait to see the kinks. I mean, what was it? The Android? Was it the Android that was blowing up in people's ears because they pushed it out too fast? It's the same thing. I mean, I know vaccine, phone, different, but it's things that are rushed. They miss things. It just happens. Yeah, Chris, they are. Let's see here. Topics. Transparency, elected officials. Wait, here, what's this? I'm looking at my yellow sheets here, my cheat sheet. Elected officials only push bills that better. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Elected officials, they only push bills that benefit themselves. I mean, look what happened yesterday. Like, everyone learned last night. What was it, Bill 3118 or whatever, for legalizing marijuana? The House passed. Obviously, the Senate hasn't voted on it yet. But the House, why are they voting on that crap right now? We're in a pandemic, and they're voting on this and not taking care of what needs to get done. We have a pandemic. We got small business owners losing their jobs. We have people losing their homes because the foreclosure in most states time frame has lapsed, and they're going back on it. Certain bills who gave you a leniency on not paying it, they're coming back saying, now we want our money, but people are still out of a job. I'm not for a stimulus check, but there are some people who still need it because they're out of a job because the government has shut down these businesses, or because of the COVID situation, they shut down the business. But yet the CDC thinks it's so bad, they're lowering the amount of time you got to quarantine a year later. We've been dealing with this crap for a year, if you think about it. Yeah, it started around February, March, April timeframe. March, April time. Yeah, March. It was March. I remember I was running and they shut down the election. You're fine, Chris. Misspelling's no big deal. We've been dealing with this for over a year, because we know, even though we started dealing with the shutdowns and the restrictions started around the March timeframe, it actually has, the COVID has been here prior. They looked into it. They actually saw it in the hospitalizations that were going on, people who were being seen for flu-like, pneumonia-like symptoms that didn't test positive for either two, and they were unsure. They just sent them home. My son was one of them. He had flu-like symptoms, pneumonia-like symptoms, took him to the ER because he's 4 years old. They got tested, said, we don't know where it is, give him some fluids, send him home, keep an eye on him, hopefully he'll be okay. And he was. So we've been dealing with this for a year. It's about time that we actually open up Ohio. And yes, some people will say Ohio is open up, but I'm thinking the restrictions. We got the 10 o'clock curfew. The majority of people will actually go out around that time frame. Here we are on Friday, Saturday night. An individual may want to go out and have a beer with their friends, and they can't. They might want to go play pool, but they can't. Dean, you're right. It's right after the impeachment flop. Yes. So I am sick and tired, and as everyone knows, I am a Republican. I have no problem calling out Republicans as well. Now, majority of the Republicans, about 90% of them, need to get their spine back because they're not doing anything. There are so many elected officials that are not currently doing enough. If they think they are doing enough, now this is my mindset. We'll retrack because it actually got brought up yesterday. My whole mind says, if you think, as an elected official, if you think you are doing enough work and you are doing a great job, then you will stop pushing yourself to do better. That's my thought process. So if you think you're doing an outstanding job, that means there's no reason for you to improve, to do more work. I know I need to do more. I don't think I'm doing a good job. I'm only did the trunk or treat in October. Didn't do anything in November. This month, we're raising money for the Sleep in Heavenly Peace. We're not going to do anything in January, but in February, we're going to be doing a fundraiser to help out victims of sex trafficking. We're working on that to do a sip and paint. Maybe we can do it in January, but it's mostly going to be aimed for February. But I know I can do more. Do I think I'm doing a great job? No. I'm sitting here behind the desk talking to you of what needs to get done, but there's only so much I can do not being an elected official. So what am I doing? I'm trying to raise money for the organizations that are busting their butts to help the people of the area. So if you have an elected official that claims that they are doing a great job and they're working their butts off, well, if we have poverty in our area, then you're not doing a good job. Exactly. I mean, Republicans and Democrats at all. Like, I love the Republicans, but I mean, I think people need to do more, especially in this time of need where we are in a crisis. They need to do a little bit more community service. Get involved. Help out at a soup kitchen. Get your team together. Yes, you want to pass legislation to help individuals keep the businesses in play, make sure people aren't losing their homes. That's definitely vital. But you also want to make sure you want to take care of the little guy. It's that whole stool analogy I used weeks and weeks ago, is that even though the top of the stool looks horrible, you can't just replace the top of the stool. You need to make sure the foundation, the 3 legs or 4 legs, whatever type of stool you got, is actually strong and sturdy. Otherwise, it's just going to tip over. If you replace the whole top, then that's fine. The bottom's crumbling. You need to take care of everything from the bottom up. That means streets. That means sidewalks, bus routes, jobs. Make sure people are being taken care of. Our crime, everything. Yes, John, I agree. Let me see if I can read this. It's hard to switch apps from YouTube and Facebook, read the comments. But I can't. I think it's an XYZ guy. He's not making any sense. I'm sorry. Hey man, if you can John XLYZ, if you can clarify a question, I would be more than happy to answer it. Not too sure if it was just a typo or what's going on. I agree. I agree, Dean, on that one. It is pretty much a retirement for majority of attorneys. But yeah, I think if you read the Constitution, only individuals who run for office are supposed to be people like us. Obviously, we don't want someone who's uneducated. We want someone who was, in fact, educated. We don't care if they talk like a politician. We prefer not to. I know I clearly don't. You know how many times I get tongue-tied and I'm like, bleh, 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 like Dracula, but at least you have this drive. You know what needs to get done. You're able to work your team efficiently to ensure we actually create legislation that's actually going to improve the lives of the people. That's what we're here for. About not doing a good job. Okay, I know what John's talking about. I made a comment yesterday about a trustee in Austintown, and I will always own my own faults. But if I misspoke, I apologize. I was not trying to attack Jim personally in any way. I think he's a good guy. I think he is working hard. My whole concept was, I don't care who you are. We're not doing a good job. I know I used him as an example. It was not meant for him personally. So, Jim, if you're watching, I sincerely apologize that was misinterpreted. Perhaps I could have chose my words better. So I'm sorry about that. You do a lot, but my whole concept is again, this is not towards you, it's towards everyone, including Kent, Steve Kent, Ken, Michelle Lepore-Hagan, Jim Jordan, Devin Nunes, President Trump. I think everyone should be doing more. If we have issues going on in our areas that we're responsible for and they're not solved, then we're not doing a good job. If we don't have a plan of action for those things, we are not doing a good job. If we are not acknowledging our faults, we are not doing a good job. So, Jim, I'm sorry. It was not what I meant. I'll own it. I always own my mistakes. I misspoke. Not what I was trying to portray. So I'm sorry. I'll buy you a beer. That's all I can say. But even myself, I don't think I'm doing a good job. I think I could do better. There are people I can do more things. Like last night around 9 o'clock, I started playing video games. Could I have just done more work? Started getting the process done to help raise the money for the sex trafficking victims. I could have, but I didn't. That's where I mean by I could have done better. Don't know if you saw it. Dave sent me a message. Is everything all right, Dave? Is there something I can read now? Or David Brown, thanks for joining. Message. Okay. Let me see what this says. Yeah, I read that. Actually, Dave sent me a message. He was talking about how apparently Ohio hospitals were showing signs of coronavirus and they were borrowing refrigerated trucks and ventilators. But in fact, the picture was done from New York. So we used a picture from New York who was putting bodies inside a refrigerated truck saying it was Ohio. I'll get that link. Dave, thanks for sharing. But yeah, it's these photos. But keep in mind, I'll call out BS photos for BS photos. There's a photo going around where Biden apparently has the boot on the wrong foot, where one is clearly photoshopped. All right. I don't think he has the boot on the wrong foot. I don't know. But the photo that was being used was clearly photoshopped. I mean, come on. But this right here is clearly, they're saying Ohio hospitals, and it is the exact same. Can you share? Let's see if I can share this. Share. How do I copy? There's nowhere to copy a post. I shared it on my personal page. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, it's on my personal page. Yeah. So yeah, we were just trying to recap. We got shut down by Facebook. Apparently they don't like conservatives. Yes, I'm growing a beard. We're going to give it till next Friday. We'll see how it works. Yes, apparently I need some color right here. We'll see. My wife says she likes it, so we'll see. We'll keep it neat. No, it's not going to be here. I like to be clean cut. This is actually driving me crazy for those of you who don't know me. I don't think I've ever not shaven a day in my life. Maybe I think I've gone about 5 days. So with that being said, you guys keep the word out there. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help out. We do have an event next Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3. We have a bunch of crafters and a bunch of vendors coming out. We have the paparazzi. We have small business owners that make arts and crafts. So you come out, you can buy some good gift ideas. I think Scott Leland and his wife coming out. They have their own honey farm. So get some fresh honey. I mean, that's great. I know my wife's probably going to buy the whole table. So she's not allowed to come because she'll buy everything. But come on out. We'll have a list of vendors that are going to be there. It'll be a great time. It's all to help out Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which is a nonprofit organization right here in the Valley that provides beds for the bedless. If you guys don't know, there are a bunch of kids out there that are sleeping on the floor. Now, that actually hits home to me because I was actually sleeping on the floor when I was a child. We couldn't afford it. I know what it's like. My whole family knows what it's like to open up the door and see nothing but bread and water. But an organization like this is actually fighting to ensure each kid at least has a bed, which I think is important. So come out, show your support. We'll send the link out here shortly. We'll be posting it every day. It's going to be at 8381 Market Street in Boardman. It's right next to Bruno Brothers. Can't miss it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Everyone has my number. If you don't, it's 330-531-1007. So God bless you all, and God bless America.